Today, honestly, was a lot better than Tuesday, despite being a heavier load and just a more intense workout overall. Did 5x5 at 200 on the front squats, and honestly, it felt pretty casual compared to Monday or Tuesday where I was struggling with 195. So go figure. I run into a day, I'd start doubting myself, and I go into this day with no expectations, and I blow it out of the water. So that's always cool. And I find that's a common theme in my training, to where I start struggling with the weight. I have doubts about what I can do. I don't think much of my next workout, thinking that, it's going to be one where I might get 3 or 4 sets down if I'm lucky, and then I just kind of blaze through it with no difficulty at all. And I'm just like, oh, all right then. And as you can see, I'm fairly upright during this. My back's not compromising. My depth is fairly low. My hips are well below the knee crease, and I'm just chugging through these reps. I did buy some new plates today. It's the ones I have on the bar right now. Just kind of seeing how they feel. They're labeled as being 44-pound, 20-kilo plates, but one's 46 pounds, the other's 47. So that's fun. And it doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things, a pound here or there. But once you've got a bunch of plates that are mismatched, it starts adding up, with that additional weight on there. And you'll kind of see that come into play with my deadlifts later on. Not really kind of focusing too much on that, though. I am super happy with how the front squats worked out today. I'm still fairly confident that my max set for 5, maybe not even 5 sets of 5, just one set of 5, 5 reps is probably going to be 225. So really going to push to that and see what I can do. If I can hit one set of 225, I'll be super happy. Anything over that would be a major accomplishment for me. I'm still 5 workouts, 5 sessions until then. Still aiming at the 23rd or whatever that date is, the Thursday after next, as being the one that I would hit that on. Actually, no, it would be to the Tuesday after next that I would hit that. Oh my God, 225 on. So we'll see what happens when I get there. 5th set on that worked kind of hard, but overall I was able to get through it. Going into this is a huge accomplishment for me. I don't know if you remember, but I certainly do. A couple months ago, I tried doing an AMRAP set of 405, and I was only able to get 3 reps, and then I was just completely gassed. Here I went to try to do a 5 sets of 5 at 405, and I was able to, do my first set of 5 at 405 off of the floor, and to be honest, it felt pretty easy. Moved into the second set, and this, you can see a little bit of work starting to develop with this, a little bit of effort starting to go into it, just because I took 3 minutes of rest between this first set and the second set, and I probably should have given myself a little bit more time to get a little bit more energy built up. It would have helped in later sets. Looking at it now, my back honestly looks pretty great. No rounding really, good strong hip positions, just a nice, strong, consistent pull throughout. I do remember I had to take a break between the 4th and 5th rep pretty much every single set between, sets 2, 3, and 4. A little bit of backgrounding there, but not too bad. It's, still a strong upper back, just kind of really having to fight through to get that last rep done. There was 5 minutes of rest between this set and the second. And so what I was talking about with the mismatch weights and where that comes into play here, I really need to make sure that I balance these properly as I'm putting them on the bar for the deadlift, just because it doesn't matter like too much, grand scheme of things with 4 plates on there. But over the plates that I have, the 2 plates that are on there first, both weigh 44.5 pounds. The second plates, one weighs 48.5 pounds, and the other one weighs 46.5. The third set that are on there again is the 46 and the 47 pound plates. And the final set, one weighs 48 pounds, and the other one weighs 46. So, if you look at that disparity between those, you're looking at, 5.5, 6 pounds difference between the sides, whenever that gets on there. If it were a bit more extreme, that could really add up. But I'm still, I'm really pulling about 410, but it's 4 plates, so that's 405. Regardless of what the actual weight on the bar is. This fourth set, that was a slog to get through. I finished it, and in the fifth rep, I could feel myself starting to black out as I was pulling it. Like my vision just kind of like an old tube TV turning off, where all the image just kind of zooms into, races to the middle and shuts off. It just kind of shot down to like a pinprick of white light, and then I just kind of forced myself through that rep and got it done. That last attempt on the fifth set, I went over to it and got down, grabbed it and started the pull, and I felt absolutely no energy. I took 6 minutes of rest between the fourth set and the fifth set, and while I was resting, I could feel like my quads just like get filled with lactic acid, and I knew that I had nothing left in the tank, but I wanted to give it a good old college try and see if I could pull it. And to be honest, even if I didn't get that last set right there, that fifth set, that was a huge accomplishment for me, because again, my previous best for a deadlift for reps at 405 was just one set of 3 reps, and I barely got that third rep. That was like my back rounding me, forcing myself through that. So it was a hell of an effort to really get that done. And this time, it was casual, doing 405 for 4 sets at 5. The last set took a little bit more to get it done, but I was able to do it. And I think if I were to attempt this again, I'd definitely be able to get that fifth set, just because I've been able to acclimate my body as to what it takes to do 5 sets of 5 at this weight. I know what I'm expecting now going into this. Even if I knew how to pull 405 and how to pull it efficiently and with ease, is another thing entirely to add volume to that, and especially doing multiple sets at volume. So this was a huge accomplishment. I feel really good about myself for doing the 405 for 5 sets, or for 4 sets. That's still well over, or roundabout rather, 8,000 pounds in total weight lifted in 4 sets. It's pretty freaking good, if I do say so myself. That's equivalent to some workouts I've done where I've done it for 5 sets of 5, and that's just kind of feels nice. Again, that the volume, that overall weight lifted isn't a huge measurement to look at, because you can do a lot of a ton of low rep sets at a lower weight, and really get up to that large volume, because you're able to expend a lower amount of energy to get through that. But man, does it feel nice to look at that large number there and say, I moved that much weight in just these few amount of sets, and I was able to just power my way through it. So definitely a huge accomplishment. There is room for improvement. That's always going to be a position I'm going to be in, but I have a pretty good idea of where I'm at now. And it was nice to kind of do this after fighting my way through the 315 for 4 sets on Tuesday. To be honest, I really don't know what I'm going to do on Saturday. I know I was speculating I was going to do deficit deadlifts today, or do block pulls or something, but I really wasn't feeling that. So that's why I went with the trap bar, and I decided, hey, I'm going to do 405. That's something I can pull pretty casually, similar to 315 on my deadlift bar. Maybe I'll do sumo deadlifts on Saturday. Maybe I'll do block pulls. I'm really not entirely sure. To be honest, I could do the axle bar deadlifts and really kind of put in some more grip work with that. I wonder what a good weight for that would be. Maybe 285 or 315 for 5 sets of 3. Doing 5 sets of 5 on that's going to be just brutal. Just because there's no whip to that bar, it's a lot harder to pull. But I don't know. I'll have to kind of play around and see what I'm thinking. But I'm between, I would say, sumo deadlifts and the axle bar. That axle bar, would help a lot with getting that weight off of the floor, because there's no whip to it. So I have to apply a lot more force to break that weight. So it is like using that the PR platform. That might be the ideal route to go. So I'm gonna give that some thought. Try to figure out what weight I should approach with the axle bar for reps. I know my max is 365. So typically you want to do 80% of that for 5 sets of 5. So that would be 72 pounds off of that. So you're looking at 260 something. or no, 290. So round about we'll say 290 for 5 sets of 5 on the axle bar, but that's probably going to be a lot. So maybe 275 would be a good mark to hit on that. So I'll play with that and see how I feel. I think I'll go ahead and try the axle bar for Saturday. If I'm not feeling it, I'll just do sumo deadlifts and go from there.